Hey, what is up YouTube? I'm back again with another video. Today we're going to be doing a Crown Victoria video on how to restore your Crown Victoria Police Interceptor ticket light. Here's one that I pulled out of the trunk of a P71 probably about 5 years ago, and I'm going to be mounting it in the trunk of one of mine. But the bulb is burnt out, the switch doesn't click at all anymore, and you can see that I started to remove the switch for time's sake, but we'll get there too. And then you'll notice that it doesn't have the metal bracket, and again, that's because when I found this one, it was mounted in the trunk with just two self-tapping screws, and that's what I'm going to do to mine, so I don't need the roof mount, and not having it isn't an issue for me. And then of course you just have the standard connector, and it used to have a dome, but if you guys have been in the hobby for a while, you'll know that the domes for these get brittle and then they just disintegrate, and that's exactly what happened to this one. So to start off, we'll remove the old light bulb, and this light bulb that this particular light takes is the 1141. So you just push in, turn, and pull out. And then installation is the exact same, but in reverse, like so. Now you might be wondering why I'm wearing gloves, and that's because I already threw away the old bulb, so this is the new one. And when handling basically any type of light bulb, especially these halogen ones, you should always be wearing gloves because the oil on your skin will cause them to burn out a lot quicker. Alright, so there's the new light bulb. This one I got at Ace Hardware for $6.59. Napa sells these individually for $1.99. I live closer to Ace Hardware than I do in Napa, so I just paid the extra. And since I already have multiple of these lights, the likelihood that I'm going to need another one of these light bulbs in the future is pretty high, so it kind of works out that I have an extra one. Next, the dome. This is a Signal Stat 77-50 or 577 dome. Typically it's the frosted white ones, but since this one is going into the trunk, I don't want the light diffused as much, so I went with the clear, so it'll put off more light. But if I was mounting this to the ceiling, to the inside of my Crown Vic, then I would definitely want the frosted diffused one, so it diffuses the light and it's easier on your eyes, and it just snaps on like so. So we got that taken care of. Now let's do the switch. So this should be hand tight, and just unscrew it. And here's the old switch. It's a Judco brand switch. They no longer make this switch. They make one similar to it, and as you guys can see, I already cut it off with a pair of wire strippers beforehand, just for time's sake of the video. Here is the modern equivalent that Judco sells. It's a little bit, the switch itself is a little bit shorter, as you guys can see. But it is basically identical, other than just being a little bit shorter, and of course the color is black. They don't sell them in white anymore. And this one, the part number for this is 504PB-ND, and I got this at digikey.com for $6.53 and free shipping. And you can see there's the hole for the old one, and we'll just stick it in, and it threads right on just like the old one did. Okay, so now we got the switch partially installed. We just have to wire it up. You could just twist them together and use electrical tape. I prefer something a little bit more secure, so I went with these butt splices from Ace Hardware, and they're 16 to 14 AWG. They only had the 100 pack for $11.99. I looked on the website and they sell a 10 pack for $4.99. I'm sure it's completely on accident that they don't sell the cheaper one. And then most people just probably have these lying around their house. Unfortunately, I didn't. And again, you could probably get these cheaper if you don't already have this at your house. But I just got with what was closest to me. So we have these two right here. And basically how they work is you just take one end, put it in, you take this other end. Alright, so for timing's sake, I cut the video short, and I'm just going to demonstrate using the butt splice. You stick the two ends of the wires together like this. I have the connector on this side and then my new switch on this side, and you just take some pliers, or technically they should be the wire cutter has a tool for it on the or a part for it on the tool itself, but I'm not using that. I'm just using these. And so the two wires are now together. And as you guys can see with this one, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to wrap them up in electrical tape just to be extra secure so that they don't come loose or come undone while in the back of my trunk. And I got the other end of the connector here. And that is how you guys can, or how to restore your old ticket light. When you come across these in junkyards, they're always missing the domes. Sometimes they're missing the light bulb, and you're not sure what type of light bulb to use, so that's why I put that in here. And of course the switch on mine was broken, so I had to replace that. The only thing that I don't have a solution for is replacing the roof mount. You'd have to jerry-rig your own with metal, maybe cardboard or plastic from like a binder would work. But this is just how to restore the light and not the bracket, and all the parts and part numbers and prices for everything that I replaced. And in total, I spent $45.29. Looking at the latest eBay listings, nowadays these things are selling for the $60 range for the incandescent, with the new dome light bulb tested and working. There's untested ones that are missing the bulb, missing the dome, or both, that are cheaper, but it's a complete gamble with what you're getting. You might have to replace these parts anyways, so I figured I would make this video in case if you're in the same boat that I am. Okay, so now that it's finally darker out, the closest connect that I had is here in my 2011. I removed the standard incandescent white and LED red, and here's the moment of truth just before I wrap everything up to test it and make sure it's going to work. And you can see it's really bright. So here's as if it was mounted, and all the extra light that you would get. Super bright with the clear dome. Okay, so it works. So now I'm going to disconnect this and I'm going to mount it in my trunk. Maybe I'll make a separate video on that. Let me know if you guys want to see that in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys later.